It's time for the insane, the honest, and the profane with your host, Brandon Combs.
Jed Hoyer has been a coward as a GM. Doesn't go out and he doesn't make the big splash signings. He doesn't spend the money in the right places. But then I don't let Craig Counsell off the hook because, yes, did he get put in a bad spot with this rotation by Jed Hoyer? Absolutely. But then you didn't put those guys that you did have in a position to succeed in the playoffs.
And Ryan Fitzgibbons.
I mean, if he's just as good as Justin Fields, it's probably the worst draft pick in the history of Bears football. It probably is. And one of the worst draft picks in the history of the NFL.
It's Combs and Fitz, Windy City Sports Talk, right here on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
And welcome to Combs and Fitz, Windy City Sports Talk. It's your boy, Brandon Combs, along with my guy, Ryan Fitzgibbons. Fitzy, the Blackhawks jersey, man. I love it. What's going on?
I don't wear
now.
I don't wear a lot of jerseys. We're flipping the script now. I know. I don't wear a lot of jerseys, but I've always thought the hockey sweater is the best form of any jersey. First of all, and I loved Marian Hossa. I thought anytime he was hurt, they were just not the same, more dynamic team. Basically the Shaq of the NHL, I thought, in a weird way. So, I know we're flipping the script, trying to get over. I thought it'd be a good palate cleanser to get over that Bears season. Not that you have to get over it. I just thought there wasn't a lot I said last Sunday night. I know it was late.
Yeah.
But not a lot. I still think it's the best NFL play I've ever seen. I know there's crazy plays, but all that, and I think it was the most fun out of any Bears season. And I almost would put 85 in that, because 85 they just blew everybody out, which is fun, but it's not, there's not that crazy drama in it.
Yeah, I mean, we should be having Bears Seahawks today. That should be the game. And that's kind of like how you feel about it if you're a Bears fan, right? You feel like, damn, man, this we should be playing this weekend. This should be us going to Seattle. But it was just a fun season for the Chicago Bears. All of the things that you saw throughout the season, all of the fourth quarter comebacks underneath 2 minutes, all of the all of the stuff with, from taking the shirt off to getting free hot dogs from Ben Johnson, the good, better, best saying in the locker room, the shift in culture in that organization was just so much fun all season long. And even though you're not playing on Championship Sunday, you feel like moving forward that this franchise is in good hands, and you feel like moving forward, this is a team that's going to compete for a very, very long time. And you're excited about what the future can bring. Now, look, the Bears have a lot of cap space. They're going to have a lot of cap space this offseason. There's a lot of things that they can do. And I'm okay with where they're at. I'm okay with the roster that they have. I'm okay with, some of the moves I think that they're going to make. I'm okay with, all of the room that they've done in the position that they've put themselves into going into this season. And I don't think we've ever said that before. I've been a big detractor of Ryan Poles for a long time. And, even going into last year, I thought he should have been fired as well. I thought he should have been gone. I didn't think he should have been the one that was aligned with Ben Johnson. But since then, I mean, look, you look at the things that he's done, and now all of a sudden some of this stuff coming to fruition. It's like, okay, maybe once they actually passed the reins over to him, it seems like that's when things really started to shift, and that didn't happen until the end of last season. So I'm all in, man. I believe in this franchise. I believe in this team, and I don't think we've ever been able to say that before.
Yeah, I mean, I think all good points except for the last point. I do think I should give Poles up a few flowers here, obviously. I think he did some really good things, and you saw it even in that last game or through the playoffs. You got three rookies just playing out of their minds. I mean, Kyle Monangai didn't do great, but the blocking wasn't there. Something weird happened to the running game that I don't think we're ever going to know or shouldn't know. It is game day, Junior. He's all pumped up for
Oh,
his
you know he
Patriots.
is. See how pumped up he is when
Patriots
Jarrett
could
Stidham
have
drops
the
260 on him today, and the Broncos win 31-30 or something.
the Patriots could have the easiest road to the Super Bowl
I
in the
I don't
last
know
30
about that.
years.
I did love Annie
If
Agar saying,
if they beat CJ Stroud, who hasn't played well in months and
Yeah.
never really played well consistently this season, and then they beat Jared Stidham. Come on. But that's beside the point. Just want to finish my polls point really quickly here. I still think he's made some mistakes. I still think what I said the other night was, and you're in agreement. If they should have fired Eberflus, and if you don't have the power, then that's your fault for not having it to fire him. You're either with the wrong. You made the decisions to get yourself in with the Bears. You either made the wrong decision on the wrong organization to go to, or you didn't have a good enough argument to get rid of him in the first place, or the Bears would be playing today. I have no doubt that if Johnson is the coach last year, they're playing today, and I have no doubt Ben Johnson wouldn't have came here last year or the year before now. I totally think he would have came here a year ago. And I think Caleb Williams would have been a totally different player. I mean, I think Caleb Williams, like people are like, yeah, this is his rookie season, was right. It's almost worse than his rookie season because he had to de-learn all this stuff. And he just got his ass kicked in the first season.
I agree with you with all of that. I mean, it's just unfortunately we don't have a time machine. So now you have to decide whether or not you trust him moving forward. And I think that you've seen enough over this last season to say that you could trust him moving forward. I know his drafts in the past haven't been great, but I mean, this past draft class, I mean, it turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to have that moving forward with him. And I'm okay with that. Boobanda Gang, one of my students actually over at Illinois Media School, says, I wish I had truly kept up on the season, but what game made you feel like there was a shift?
Easy, you go first though. Easy.
For me, it was probably it honestly, it was God, there's so many moments. I would say probably the first comeback. Because that was a game.
Bengals?
The Bengals comeback.
Me, you jumping around like 14-year-old idiots in my brother's garage.
That was a game that over the last 30, 40 years, they would lose every time. And to me, that signified, all right, this is going to be a different team. And then they did it again and again and again and again. And it was like, okay, this team is different. But I would say that would be the game that started me believing there was a culture shift.
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously, it was way later. You know how I was. Even before that Cincinnati game, I was tearing the Bears apart. Rightfully so. I mean, a lot of people didn't have them even beating Cincinnati. I didn't have them beating Cincinnati, and they almost lost. For me, it was that Philadelphia game. You can watch if you watch, you can watch 30 seconds of every show we've done this season. That'll give you like 10, 20 minutes. You could see me change after that Philadelphia game. I mean, that's when it was on, not just from I mean, their defense was even, pretty good in that game. And just their run game. And I thought the run game was going to be different, but I don't know. I'd like to see Ben explain it. Like, no, we were doing something in the run game we knew wouldn't work throughout an entire season. We knew that somebody could give us a counterpoint, and then we wouldn't have a counterpoint to that, but we would just then shift back to the pass because that's what they did. Yeah. But at that point, I thought if they could run like this on Philadelphia's defense, who no one's going to tell you wasn't a top 10 defensive line, then, oh my God, like this team could win it all. And, I was really invested in them. And I was through. I thought they were going to beat LA. And I thought that game against LA went exactly as I thought it would. They did have the ball. And I know it was in overtime, but they did have the ball at the end. If you want to go through that play, we can again. I do give the culpability in thirds. Now you can give more to DJ, but I think you don't call that play there. Ben Johnson because DJ is your primary 30 yards downfield. You don't need 30 yards. A million things can go wrong. It's cold as hell. Caleb, you just don't. I don't throw that pass there. I just don't. It's up in the air for a long time. And DJ, first of all, you picked the wrong route. It's obvious just from the defense that was called and the defense as it shaped up as the play was going, and you jogged.
My problem isn't so much the route or the pass. I mean, yes, you can give blame to the play call. You can give blame to Caleb for actually throwing the pass. My problem becomes once the ball is thrown, DJ just gives up on it. That's my problem. Like, he doesn't give me an offensive pass interference, tackle the damn defender and take him down early and deal with the 15, 20 yard, however long penalty. I believe it's 15 for offensive pass interference. Deal with the 15-yard penalty as opposed to the interception because you knew at the time you couldn't give him the ball back. That's my problem with DJ Moore. I did love the Annie Agar going back to Junior's Patriots point, or your Patriots point, with them having the easiest route to the Super Bowl. Annie Agar posted her video this week that she does fantastic stuff. But she said that the one of the lines in there was the Patriots have such an easy route to the Super Bowl, even DJ Moore wouldn't give up on it. And I thought that was absolutely fantastic. She also had another line in there where she went after CJ Stroud and said that CJ Stroud couldn't read a defense even if it was an audio book. That was another clever line that I like.
Yeah, I mean, for a guy who was so good, I mean, who would have had it that CJ, and I know everybody's seen the meme of CJ Stroud trying to big brother Caleb Williams. Like, who would have thought from that picture on that every GM in the league would take Caleb Williams over CJ Stroud after that game, after that Texans game that went so bad for Caleb Williams. I don't know how many times he was sacked in that game, but I'm going to say 4 or 5. And just everything that happened in that game, he had a miserable game. That this would be the end result of CJ Stroud. But I mean, I don't know really exactly everything that was going on in that play either. The DJ Moore play, just to get back to that. I don't know if he was hurt. I don't know what was going on. Do I want, as a fan, is my first instinct and reaction to be really pissed off? And am I still a little bit pissed off? Because if he was hurt, it's his fault too for being on the field. But it's also the Bears' fault for putting him on the field. Somebody else could have played that they do have a pretty deep receiving core. Today,
I heard people say he was gassed. I heard people say he was gassed because you look at him for a couple plays in a row there, and he's huffing and puffing. Look, everybody's gassed. You're in overtime in January.
2 plays before that, you had a QB sneak, and then you had a run play.
Yeah.
Why is he gassed? What are you doing?
I agree with you, and I don't even care if he is gassed. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse.
I could see he had 4 deep patterns in a row. Then that's just that's another thing that Ben Johnson has got to start learning.
Yeah.
Yes, you live by the sword, you die by it. This is the team they were to go for a pass play like that. Like, they died the way as who they are, which is always going to be fine with me. But I think Ben Johnson in 10 years is not calling a 30-yard pattern on 2nd and 8 in overtime of a playoff game at the 48 at the opponent's 48-yard line or wherever they were. I know they're past midfield.
I don't think next year he calls.
Yeah,
I know.
I
don't think this week he would have called that play because they don't make the same mistakes twice, and it's kind of been the thing of Ben Johnson led teams. And here's the thing too: is I don't think DJ Moore is going to be here next year. I really don't. I don't think you're going to have to. I don't think you're going to have that. I do think he's going to be a big trade chip.
You're selling
for the
low.
Bears.
You're selling really low.
I mean, I don't think so. Because I think what you can get out of DJ Moore, especially to a team like, I know I've thrown it out before and I'll throw it out again, like the Raiders. If you throw DJ Moore in a couple and you're getting a Max Crosby in return, I don't think you're really selling low. I think that if you trade him to a team that it makes sense, I don't think you're selling low. You trade him to a team like Miami, I don't think you're selling low. You trade him to a team that needs a wide receiver because DJ Moore he's still a good wide receiver. I'm not gonna say he's a bad wide receiver because that just wouldn't be being honest with you. He was the go-to guy in both Green Bay Packers wins late. Like he was still able to get things done. The problem I have with DJ Moore is it's only when his number is called. If he is the number one receiver in a route, that's when he goes all out and he's a stud. It's the plays where he's the second, third, and fourth option that he doesn't run the routes. He doesn't finish routes. He doesn't go out. He takes plays off. And that is my problem with not just DJ Moore, but any player that does that, because you hurt your team when you do that.
The weird part is his number was called on that route. Like everybody else is running a route to get him open on that play. And that's just how the play worked. There's a guy going short, Luther Burns going short, Rome Odunze, who's kind of loafing on the play too, by the way, is going deep, and DJ Moore is supposed to be between, and you want high safeties there. That's why Ben said, I know we had green grass after the game. He had to look at the play again. But I know we had green grass after the play, and Ben, to his, to compliment him, he did say it was his fault. That he shouldn't. I just think it was a bad play call. I don't think it was, or not a very good one. But that's how they are, man. That's what's exciting about this team too, is they take exciting chances in certain situations, and they're not afraid to. How many Bears teams have we had, especially the last regime, but many regimes, even Matt Nagy, if you remember, was very conservative on a lot of different plays, would milk, was very bad at milking the clock at the end, would leave too much time on the clock at certain times at the end of games and end of halves. Like a lot of people would do that. Even Lovie Smith would do that, even though Lovie Smith had the locker room and did a lot of good things. But maybe it's time to
look, you have your head coach, and you've got a head coach with fire. I don't care what anybody's talking about, like in the offseason. Oh, you had, he said this and he's classless and he said that. Like, to me, that stuff's just like, that's I don't want the classy guy. We've had the classy guy. It hasn't worked well for us. Mark Trestman was a classy guy. How'd that work out?
Yeah.
Matt Eberflus, classy guy. How we look there. You know what I mean? Like the closest thing that Ben Johnson, when you go into Bears history of head coaches, you get down to Mike Ditka. Was the last time that we had a coach with this edge. Even Lovie Smith didn't really have too much of an edge. He's a good coach. Got a lot out of his teams. He was a player's coach. They had some really good teams in the Lovie Smith era. But he wasn't this guy. You know what I mean? Like he was a nice guy too. I like the edge that he is coaching with. I like what the Bears have. I like this team moving forward, and it's going to be fun. And I got to say, I mean, look, after listening, man, I don't know if you heard it this week, but after listening to like other ownership groups, like, did you hear the Buffalo Bills thing?
Not exactly. Not all of it.
The owner and Brandon Beane were in a end of season press conference. And they asked Brandon Beane, one of the reporters asked Brandon Beane, because a lot of people believe that Brandon Beane should have been the one that was fired and not Sean McDermott, asked him about his draft pick of Keon Coleman. And the owner of the team, I forget his name, Sekula, I think is his name, cuts him off and he's like, I'll take this one. He's like, Brandon didn't want to draft Keon. That was the coaching staff that wanted Keon. And Brandon was being a team player there. And first of all, Keon Coleman's still on your roster. Keon Coleman is still a Buffalo Bill. What are you doing? And two, immediately on the internet, you could find Brandon Beane talking about drafting Keon Coleman, and he says verbatim, I went to bed that night thinking it was Keon Coleman or nothing. Somebody was going to have to blow us away to pass on Keon. And when we got into the day, we didn't feel like anything was worth passing up Keon for. So you just said that this guy didn't want him, but in his interview directly after the draft, he said he was the only player he was taking. So, like, these are things that we used to watch the Bears go through, and I'm just happy we don't have to watch the Bears go through this anymore, because we used to watch the Bears go through stuff like that. Some of these other teams, some of these other, what they're going through, these coaches being let go. You look at the Giants getting John Harbaugh, but John Harbaugh over the last 10 years or so hasn't been a great head coach. And you look at, Sean McDermott. I thought it was time for Sean McDermott to go too. I would argue that Brandon Beane probably should have been fired as well. But I think it's Sean McDermott with the Buffalo Bills, even though this might have been the worst Buffalo Bills roster of his 9 years that he was there, in a year where you don't have, you don't have to deal with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. You don't have to deal with Joe Burrow. You don't have to deal with Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. I felt like if you didn't at least go to the Super Bowl, Sean McDermott had to have been on the hot seat, or at least on his way out of town. So I wasn't surprised that Sean McDermott gets let go. I don't think there's anybody happier now, though, than Baltimore Ravens fans after they get their guy Jesse Minter, who a lot of Ravens fans wanted. But then not only that, but your division rival Pittsburgh Steelers decide to go with Mike McCarthy as their head coach. Reuniting Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy. I don't think anybody's happier about that than Ravens fans.
Is Aaron Rodgers staying?
It's going
to be Aaron Rodgers watch, because this is what he wants until April.
Yes, but I would assume that the Mike McCarthy hire was the only thing that would bring Rodgers back.
I don't really think he's that good. I didn't even think he was that good.
Yeah.
On the Jets, I didn't even think he was that good. I know his numbers look good. He did it against a bunch of trash teams in trash hour. Against good teams, he was terrible.
Yeah, he has.
I mean, he had some good throws, I guess, against the Ravens, a game they should have lost, and didn't do a whole lot in that game either. So I don't know. I think he's bad. I don't think he's going anywhere with any team. I think he can make them good enough to maybe make the playoffs, just narrowly. I don't think he's good to win.
Top 5 quarterback all time, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's probably the best thrower of the ball I ever seen. I don't remember Marino enough, or saw enough of his game other than the highlights. Marino's pretty impressive, but just thrower of the ball, just pure, doing it accurately and being able to run the ball and do all the things you have to do to be a quarterback. Top 5, probably the best quarterback I've seen. If he would have won a little bit more and wasn't just kind of bad in some really big games, which I usually don't totally go against a player for that. But he played in a lot of bigger games and just wasn't good enough.
And he's got one of those greatest of all time stats too, right? Like the only 5 quarterbacks in the history have had a season of 3,000 yards passing, 25 plus touchdowns, and under 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
And all 5 of those quarterback seasons are Aaron Rodgers.
Yep. Yeah. No. Yeah. Just didn't throw a lot. I mean, Caleb Williams models his game on Aaron Rodgers and how he was able to avoid, and that's a double-edged sword too. I mean, this is the NFL where they try to mitigate turnovers. Well, if you mitigate turnovers, sometimes you will be less successful. And so it goes both ways. It does sometimes cut both ways. You don't want to throw interceptions, but you do want to gain yards and score touchdowns in this league. Does anyone remember that Rodgers and McCarthy hated each other? Yeah, that was going to be my point, Julianne. That's a good point. It didn't end well in Green Bay at all for Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers. I just don't see Aaron Rodgers coming back to Pittsburgh unless he has to come back to Pittsburgh for some contractual reason, but I don't think he does.
Look, when you look at that aspect of it, the Steelers don't do this, right? Like they hire coaches to go for 20, 30 years. Like they don't
Chuck
hire
Noll,
they don't hire the 5-year coach. But Mike McCarthy, there's no way Mike McCarthy decided that he was taking the Steelers job not knowing who a quarterback was going to be. And they're not in a position draft-wise to go and take a quarterback in the draft.
And let's face it, at Mike McCarthy's age and weight, He does not have a lot of. He does not have 20
No.
years in coaching ahead of him.
This has to be a thing where you're going to bring in Mike McCarthy. You're going to bring in a young coordinator. Don't know who it is, but you're going to bring in a young coordinator that he's going to mold to take over for him in 5 years. Like, that's got to be what this is. But I don't think McCarthy does that without at least having known or having some knowledge or even having a conversation with Aaron Rodgers that, sure, I'll come back for one more run with Mike McCarthy. Yes, I know it didn't. I know that whatever they didn't. But Rodgers has come out and dispelled that truth that he didn't really hate McCarthy, that things went well with him and Mike McCarthy. Now, look, I know there's all sorts of turmoil. I know all sorts of things get out there, leaked in the press and all of this stuff. But I just don't know how Mike McCarthy would take this job.
And I don't believe
Unless
anything Aaron Rodgers
knew
says,
something.
really. I don't
I mean,
believe anything. But
He's married to an AI bot.
Sometimes things do get blown out of proportion. I agree with you. And sometimes guys don't really like each other for like a week and then they're fine.
Yeah.
Like mostly guys, a lot of guys who stood up in my wedding punched me in the face. So I mean, I mean, sometimes these things happen. By the way,
Here's your sign.
have you, yes. Maybe we gotta pause a little bit after that. Yes.
I've had a couple of those moments.
Yes. And
Don't You are not alone.
yes. Just gonna sit
He
here with a
doesn't know where
picture
to
of
go
Mike,
now.
just sit here with a picture of Mike McCarthy for a second.
Oh my god. Oh god. I don't know that the McCarthy Rodgers thing is a thing in Pittsburgh either. I know McCarthy has ties to Pittsburgh with that because that's where he's at. But I just can't imagine them making this call with not having something in place. Like, I don't think McCarthy's not going there for a rebuild. Like, that's not, I mean, at his
No,
age,
it's not. No, there has to be somebody in mind and some quarterback available that he has in mind. Sorry. Rodgers calls plays on the field against McCarthy's call. Yeah, I think a lot of players and coaches do that, but Julianne is diehard Packers fan. She's definitely watched more Packers games than I have. So I'll take your word for it.
it's probably why she's always in a bad mood.
Oh, Philip Rivers interview. She sent me this during the week. Philip Rivers interview in Buffalo.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's why, like, I don't know what Buffalo's doing.
That's why I don't. And when you said Sean McDermott, yeah, it seemed like that should be the end of things. Get an offensive football mind in there.
Yes.
To that's going to be that's for the next decade of Josh Allen's career. That's going to be with him. He obviously needs that. I get all that, but this might not have been the year for that because there's nobody out there. It's not like Jim Harbaugh.
No, that's not true. I mean, you've got
coming.
Yeah, well, you got Clint Kubiak, who's thought to be the next Ben Johnson. Now, I know a lot of people.
Too many goddamn Kubiaks in this league. There is not another Kubiak.
And there's a lot of people that don't think Kubiak.
A
lot of people think Kubiak's going to be one of those guys who's a really good offensive coordinator, but not a really good.
You could say
head
Kubiak
coach
at any time in the last 45 years in this damn league, and be right about somebody. How many Kubiaks has there been? This is the fourth Kubiak, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but
flying Kubiaks.
Clint's 36, 37, somewhere in that ballpark. Offensive coordinator in Seattle. I mean,
are you going to date him? Why are you? It's like you're reading off his Tinder profile.
I'm not reading anything. I'm looking at your ugly mug and that damn Blackhawks sweater. Like I
wish I knew how to quit you.
Thank you, Brokeback Mountain.
I think that when you look at some of the offensive minds that are out there, like you got Mike McDaniel too, but do you really want to go down that route, seeing what just happened in Miami? Probably not. The other offensive minds that are out there are kind of off the table now because you already got Kevin Stefanski off the table. You already got John Harbaugh off the table, who's a defensive coach, but you've still got these guys that are off the table. I think you need to bring in a guy like whether or not it's Kubiak
Kingsbury,
or what about What about going into your own backyard and just elevating Joe Brady, who is at the top of a lot of lists?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
was able to kind of fix what that was last season, was brought in and able to kind of fix some things for them on the fly and generally did a good, but then aren't you keeping with the same thing that got Sean McDermott fired? I don't know.
I would think so. I think that I think they had buyer's remorse as soon as they fired Sean McDermott, which is why they just started throwing him under the bus for everything.
Yeah,
everything that's wrong is now all of a sudden Sean McDermott's fault. Even though
definitely
Sean
got some kickback.
Yeah, but Sean McDermott jumped to the top of everybody's list as soon as he got fired.
Of head coach or defensive coordinator. He will have a head coach.
It's first of all, it's a Marv.
Is Mark Levy still alive? Well, there could be a Mark Levy out there.
Yeah, maybe that's Marv's brother.
Marv's brother, because
Marv
Levy dead, or did I just kill Marv Levy?
Does
Marv Levy dead?
Does John just like wake up and just be like, oh, that's how about Mark Levy? Like, and he's just
Marv
got, like,
Levy, 101 years old, 101 years young. He is about to be 101 in August. He is still kicking it. Yeah.
Hey, there you go. There, Marv. Oh, Marv. Yeah. Unreal.
Yeah, all right. I'll see you guys there.
No.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably hungover anyway. I'll give him a break. It's only 11 o'clock in the morning. He probably just woke up.
He's working, I think.
No, he's not.
He's working.
He's a city electrician. He does not work. He might be clocked in, but he's not working.
I don't think you want to say that often. Doubting Thomas couldn't wait. He's like, he probably went to his keyboard or his phone. Like he couldn't get to it fast enough. Marv Levy minus 120 against Combs. Combs plus 100.
Oh,
obviously in a fight. That's obviously in a fight.
Doubting Thomas plus 1,400.
Oh,
minus 2,700. How about that? How about that? So look, I think we've touched on everything with the Bears. Let's get into the conference championship week. We've got Rams and Seahawks. We've got Patriots, Broncos with Jarrett Stidham under center. I think Jarrett Stidham's going to have a good day today. I actually do. Let's start with that game. I mean, do you think that the Broncos are dead in the water? I know a couple of people think that the Patriots are just going to blow them out. I think there's a real problem with the Patriots only arriving 19 hours before kickoff to Denver to acclimate to the elevation in Denver. I think that's going to be a real thing. I think that was a bad decision by the Patriots. Most people say it takes 48 to 72 hours to acclimate to Denver in the altitude. I think it's going to cause a problem. I like the Broncos in this game. I think they're going to pull off the upset. I do.
They definitely have a pretty good defense. So I mean, I don't think it's going to get out of hand early, but I don't see the longevity in this. I still don't have this like deep belief all of a sudden in Drake May. Like, who has he beaten? What has he done yet? I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, the stats are similar between him and Caleb Williams. If you look at Caleb Williams, if you watch the games, there's something totally different going on with Caleb Williams. I don't have all the faith in the world in him. I just think you can't come into this game unless you're Jeff Hostetler. This is 1988. You're not coming in and taking over a team and going to the Super Bowl. I don't see it happening. Patriots have a really good defense too. They have a really good coach in Rabel, who I agree should have gotten him there. I think any game where weather or the elements are a little bit different, I think you should be going in earlier. Stidham Super Bowl MVP and Sox Central Divisions champs.
I'm looking it up right now to see what
I'll let you look it up. But I was thinking about this today, and I'm thinking if it's Jared Stidham against Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl, the NFL could not have envisioned a Super Bowl I want to watch less. They could not have drawn it up. This is proof that the NFL is not scripted if those two teams are in the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
First of all, a Broncos team that's won a Super Bowl not that long ago. Seahawks have been in several Super Bowls and won one. Like, who cares in those fan bases? I mean, they care, obviously, but it's not as much as a fan base that hasn't won in decades. Like, the Bears are out of it. Buffalo's out of it. Both of those teams are just ratings hogs. The best ratings in a divisional game, I think, ever was the LA Rams Bears game, or one of the best ever. And then the most streamed game ever was Bears Packers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a ratings nightmare right now for the NFL. I like some of the storylines. I like Stidham. That's Hollywood. That's cinematic. I like Sam Darnold. I do. I don't know why everybody gets on his ass because he's a redhead. I don't see the problem there. Just because he doesn't have long locks like Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is getting $50 million a year. I still don't know why. And by the way, if I could just have just one little tangent here, that last throw he threw to lose them the playoffs is the reason why Trevor Lawrence is a terrible quarterback. And yeah, you could coach over him for a few games, but he's eventually going to be Trevor Lawrence. A terrible pass, and Tony Romo at the end of that pass says, it's a good throw. That's not on Lawrence.
Yeah.
It's a terrible throw.
102-1, Jeremiah. 102-1 for Stidham Super Bowl MVP and the White Sox to win the Central Division. I mean, for $1 to turn into 102, I mean, it's a long wait, but could happen. I mean, look, Jarrett Stidham, you got to remember, too, this is a revenge game for Jarrett Stidham. He started with the Patriots. The Patriots drafted him. You got the revenge game factor. I think here's what I put on today when we were talking about him on BetMGM Game Day. I've got Jarrett Stidham, 262 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and the Denver Broncos win 23-21. That was my prediction for that game.
You're a moron. Moving on. I just think the game gets out of hand late. Maybe you're right. And we can replay this. We're at 30 minutes. Clip this up. AI. We've replaced the production staff with AI. AI clip this up. 38 minutes. Anyway, he might be MVP this year. He's using pronouns and being cryptic for I don't know what reason. Probably because he doesn't want to misspell another name. Who do you think he's talking about? Who do you think he's talking about? Guess. Because I already know. I'm incensed, by the way.
Is he talking about Drake May?
No, he's not talking about Drake May. Try again.
I don't know.
He's talking about Trevor Lawrence because I was still talking.
Oh my God.
He is talking.
Get the hell out of here.
See? What did I say? First of all, Trevor is a terrible name. Trevor is a name. Trevor is the name for a kid in prep school who beats up the gay kid and then is fucking the starting quarterback. That is Trevor is the name. That is the name.
AI delete at 39 minutes. Delete. What just happened?
Have we been talking about football at all today?
All of our check marks on where we're streaming just all went to X's. It's crazy.
Yeah. TL MVP.
Oh my God,
TL MVP.
John,
His-
you're gonna win an MVP before Trevor Lawrence does.
Comments
Just so you
never
know.
are 5 or 6 words long. They're always
Well,
like the
'cause-
score to the game we all just watched,
Because he can't
or
form a
just
full sentence.
initials, or just initials.
No. And when he does put full sentences, I think that it's his wife that's
Yes, probably.
commenting for him.
Or his sausage fingers. He's just mashing them on the keypad and just coming up with sentences.
Just
Anyway,
autocorrecting to
Trevor
an actual
Lawrence is
sentence.
not winning an MVP in his lifetime. No,
No.
No.
No. Not
no.
even
I think he
close,
takes
not
a
even
step
close.
back last year. I don't see I don't see why he's getting $50 million and Sam Darnold isn't, but I think that's going to be rectified after the season because he only got one season with the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks give him a paycheck. I think he's going to do fine today. I think it's going to be Seahawks Pats. I think it's going to be a revision of what the 2014, 2015 Super Bowl. I know that's what everybody's saying, but I think that's.
See, I'm on the opposite spectrum with you because I have the Rams beating the Seahawks today as well. I think that one.
I learned long ago to ram it just right. You can ram it all day and ram it all night.
Saying that a lot now, and not
Well-
because they watched our show.
the 38-37 victory by the Seahawks late in the season. I think the Rams learned something from that. I think McVay's going into this game knowing he has to put up 40 points. And I think that the Rams offense is just conducive to beating the Seattle Seahawks. I really do. You look at the things that we talked about it today, and Jason Lockenfora brought up a good point. The way to beat a Mike McDonald defense is with the tight ends. And the numbers for Matthew Stafford against Mike McDonald defense when throwing to his tight ends is absolutely phenomenal. He's got a 121 passer rating when throwing to the tight ends. He's got a 82% completion percentage when throwing to his tight ends. I think you're going to see a lot of tight end game today in this offense. I think you're going to see a lot of open up for Kyron Williams because of the passing game starts to work. And I know the Seattle defense is good.
They haven't given up a 100-yard rusher in 23 games.
I don't think he's going to get to 100. I just think he's going to open up some things for him. I think that the Rams beat the Seahawks today and they're going to the Super Bowl. I don't know if either one of the AFC teams can compete with either one of these NFC teams. So I think whoever wins that game between the Rams and Seahawks wins the Super Bowl. But I have Broncos Rams. That's who I played today.
Originally thought whoever won that Bears Rams game won the Super Bowl. I originally thought that. The Seahawks have just changed things around for me, especially I think that's a really good home field advantage there in Seattle. I think it's a really good one. And I think these teams are pretty tight, even though I usually go with the better quarterback, which you know how much I think of Matthew Stafford. My dad would have a kid again before Trevor wins an MVP. Well, now I think Trevor's going to win the MVP. I mean, I don't know what to think now. It's a good one, Junior.
Oh my God.
Julianne
Jules,
loves that we're polar opposites, huh?
We're pretty much polar opposites every time we're on.
Not
Sometimes we
really.
agree, but
It feels icky. I feel like I want to change my name to Trevor when we agree.
I feel like you should change your name to Trevor before you said the word icky.
Anyway, I just have that defense. Yeah, icky. That defense, even though they did it twice to San Francisco, I just didn't think that was going to happen, that you could even do that twice to San Francisco. They did do it twice to San Francisco. You know, I think Sam Darnold knows that he can't really make a lot of mistakes today. And I think that's enough for them to win.
But Matthew Stafford compared to Brock Purdy, I mean, I trust Matthew Stafford.
Oh, yeah.
To put up points over Brock
Throws
Purdy.
a lot of picks, though.
Yeah.
Does throw a lot of picks. Should have had a couple in that Bears game. I did just say icky. Like,
This is the guy that picked the Patriots to win today.
We're in the championship. We're in the championship round of the playoffs. I was talking about Icky Woods. The
Icky Woods,
Shuffle.
the Icky Shuffle.
The Icky Shuffle. Obviously, that's why I said it. Come on,
he has
Junior.
no clue who that is.
No, he isn't. No, he doesn't.
No.
I'm gonna say Icky Woods is dead.
I actually think he might be. I'm not sure though. You might have just killed him, but I
Ickey
think I
Woods
remember this
very
though.
much still alive.
Oh, see what you did. Oh yeah, you know what? I did just see the commercial with him. Remember?
He's
He was
59.
doing the Icky shuffle in the grocery store.
Yeah, there you go. Still
Yeah.
alive.
Should have known better. Should have known better. Look, let's get to something that's near and dear to our hearts. Baseball in Chicago.
Oh, you just can't
it's coming.
wait. My
We're
team
not-
bought a couple players. I want to
We're
talk
not
about
far
them.
away. No, not only did the Cubs get a couple of players, Major League Baseball Network released their preseason power rankings. The Dodgers were number 1.
Shocker.
The Chicago Cubs were number 2, which I think is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know how you have the Cubs ahead of teams like the Toronto Blue Jays, ahead of teams like even the New York Mets, who I know they lost Pete Alonso, but man, have you seen what they've built with that lineup?
Yes.
And
Peralta they just got.
yeah, and they just
John
got
Thomas
Luis
is going to
Robert.
fall off his chair, but they got Luis Robert. He hits 25 home runs and plays 130 games. He's a 5-WAR player. Like, I'm sorry.
In that lineup too. I mean, he hasn't played in a lineup like that.
No, in a long time.
To insert him in the middle of the lineup like that, it's going to do wonders for him. The thing that you have to worry about with the Mets is if he hits a lazy ground ball to the third baseman and has to run it out, does he tear his hamstring off the bone? That's what you've got to worry about with Luis
Directly
Robert.
off the bone.
But if you keep him healthy, you could have an MVP candidate on your roster that you just got for 2 no-name player. I wouldn't say no name. I think Luis Angel Acuna is a name that White Sox fans are going to like watching in the infield. But I don't know. I think the White Sox held on to him 2 years too long and didn't get enough in return for what they could have got from Luis Robert 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so
I just don't think a guy on a 4-year contract, you're going to trade him then. You're saying we're going to be at that time. I don't think they wanted to say they were going to be bad.
we
for
were
4
saying
years.
that though.
You
We were
said that
saying
they
that.
would.
It
You
was
said
time.
in 24 they'd win the division. So
Yeah, and by the trade deadline, I had recanted that and said they should trade Luis Robert. That was the point where it just made
after
too much
38
sense to not
home
trade
runs
him.
and still 4 years of control, I just not a
Yeah.
lot of teams are going to get rid of a guy after that, but they should have. You're right. I totally agree
Yeah.
with you. But that's pretty tough to do with a guy with 4 years left. But
Yeah, it's tough. But I mean, look, the White Sox are they went out and got a closer. I do like
they signed a Knight. He's talking obviously about Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Sir Anthony Dominguez. They get
Gonna
a
be the
closer in
closer.
Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Yeah.
I think that was a good pickup for them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be another season where you're looking ahead of time, and we're looking at the White Sox right now as presently constructed, and you're probably thinking somewhere about 60 to 65 wins. And if they surprise you, and if they're good, they can win 70 to 75. I don't know. I don't know if you get more than that.
I have him
And-
at
and that-
70. I have him at 70. Just because
Yeah.
I think a full year with Colson Montgomery, a full year with Kyle Teal, another year for Chase Mydroth, a full year of Eddie Caro, a full year of some of these guys.
Provided they all stay healthy.
Thorpe's coming back, provided they all stay healthy. Maybe you get something crazy happening with a rookie. You do have Murakami coming in. He gives you 20, 25 home runs from the left side. That's going to make a difference for sure in this lineup. This is going to be the kind of lineup that wins 13-5 one game and loses, 3-0 the next. I mean, this lineup is going to score runs. It's going to be I'm at the bottom of another bottle again.
I don't know if he's talking about the White Sox season. I don't know what he's talking about.
But I think if you put the Cubs, at 4th or 5th in the power rankings, I wouldn't be against that. I mean, the signing of Alex Bregman, the trade, for a starting pitcher that actually throws strikes outs is probably a good thing. I mean, to have a starting pitcher who can throw strikeouts. I think getting Justin Steele back is going to be good. How many innings he's able to go, I don't know, but I should be able to go 180 to 200. I think that's going to be big. I think this is, you're going to lose something not having Kyle Tucker. I don't know exactly how you're filling that gap, but I mean, there's gaps in all teams.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I guess
I put Toronto at 2 though. Sorry.
I guess what you're putting
even losing Bo Bichette
into right field at that point, I guess the thought process is you're going to have 162 games of Seiya Suzuki there, which I don't like that idea. Because I know that they're planning on Mo Baller being the DH, the everyday DH. I just don't know. Look, I do like the pitching. I love the pickup of Edward Cabrera. I love the pickup of Bregman. I think that the Cubs infield might be the best infield in all of baseball, defensively, not offensively, because you still got that big ass hole in Dansby Swanson in your lineup. But defensively,
you got baseball players in that infield for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a really well defended defensive infield. My concern becomes, did they do enough pitching wise? And they do keep adding arms, and now the rumor is that they are still in on oh crap, I'm gonna forget his name now. They were in on another free agent starting pitcher, not Javier. What the frick is his name? Anyway, but they're still thinking about adding another arm, and I don't think you can have too many arms in this rotation, especially if that allows you to have, Shota Imanaga as your 4th or 5th starter.
Zach Gallen?
Zach Gallen. There you go. There's rumors out there that they could get Zach Gallen on a 2 to 3 year deal, short-term deal, and have something there. I mean, if you're looking at the top 3 being Cabrera, Horton, Gallen, and then Steele is your 4 when he comes back healthy, and then Naga is your 5. I like that. And even still, even if you're rotating out your 4 and your 5, and because you've still got a couple of other players on your roster that can pitch. I like what this Cubs lineup is looking like. I like what this Cubs pitching rotation is looking like. The bullpen gives me pause for concern because the biggest names that they added were names that not a lot of people have heard of. But the one thing where I will give Jed Hoyer kudos is he has done a phenomenal job over the last 2 or 3 years of picking up no-name relievers and turning them into something. That is something the Cubs have been able to do with their pitch lab. And so maybe that'll be a
Took
strength.
them a few years.
I just don't know if it will, though. That's my problem. Like, I don't like the fact that you didn't get a Sir Anthony Dominguez. I don't like the fact that you didn't go out and you didn't get one of the top closers that were available this offseason. So, Devin Williams comes to mind. Like, I don't like the fact that you didn't go get some of these really big, high, level proven relievers.
Even a mid-level guy who used to have a lot of talent, like a Kenley Jansen of last year, or go get Kenley Jansen. I mean, who had a great year. Everybody thought he was done. I mean, they're not even. I don't even see them doing a lot of that. I know Kenley Jansen got like 15-20 million, but still, I mean, something like that. I mean, that's what kind of irks me. And the Cubs bullpen has been a liability in the past, and he hasn't always built it up. I just think you're having a lot of volatility there when you don't really need to have it. But I don't have a lot of criticisms to make. I think the Cubs have had a really good, not great offseason, but really, really good one. I guess Kyle Tucker was never going to happen in the first place. And, you got Bregman. That patches things up.
Would you have been okay with paying Kyle Tucker $60 million a year, though? Can I ask
If
you
I'm
that?
if I'm the Cubs,
Considering the
I will
considering
answer
the
again.
fact
I will answer you the same way I answer everything. I don't care the money that they're spending. I think they're lying that they don't have the money. And you got clubs that are making well less than the Cubs. It's pretty obvious they're making well less than the Cubs that are spending a lot more. I'm just gonna tell you, there still is. So I mean, it just depends on where.
I get the
I'd rather
notion
have
that the
Kyle
Cubs could
Tucker than
spend
Alex Bregman.
that the
That's my
Cubs could spend $100 million or $1 billion if they wanted to. I understand all of that, but you still have to business decision wise determine. Like you can still determine whether a player is worth what he's getting paid. Like is Kyle Tucker worth $60 million a year, especially when he puts up the same numbers as Cody Bellinger, who got 32? Like, when you look at that business wise from a business decision, let's take the Cubs out of the
then
equation.
why didn't they sign Cody Bellinger?
Well, I'm talking about take that out of the equation. Let's just look at the player himself. Let's look at Kyle Tucker himself. Is Kyle Tucker worth $60 million?
That's a tough one. I'm not the one that makes those decisions. But I don't.
You're
Again,
just trying to.
I don't care about the Cubs' money. If they think he's good enough, then yes, he should be on the Chicago Cubs, not another player on the Dodgers. And then you whimper and whine that the Dodgers have all this money. You have the money.
Nobody whimpers and whines that the
bullshit.
Dodgers have all this money. I wish the Cubs would do the same thing, but I still am okay with saying that a certain player isn't worth a certain value.
You're pissed that they didn't sign Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, Cody Bellinger was the name that I wanted.
Yeah.
For that price, because I thought you could have had him especially if you would have signed him before Tucker signs, because I think before Tucker signs for 60 plus million, I think he's a $24-25 million a year guy. And then as soon as Tucker gets 60, now his price shoots up because Tucker just resets the market. I thought that Bellinger should have been signed at the beginning of the offseason if you're the Cubs. As soon as you know you're not re-signing Tucker, you go out and you get Bellinger and you say, hey, let's get this done before Tucker signs, because you don't want that market to reset. I thought that was a bad miss by Jet, but you know how I feel about Jet in his offseason. Like, I understand, like I look, the Bregman signing, good, maybe a year late. Some of these things that the Cubs are doing, I still don't know exactly where you're going. I've seen Matt Shaw now taking reps in the outfield. He's already reported to spring training. He's taking reps in right field. I don't know what you do there. I really don't. But it's a good problem to have, having too many pieces. And that I will say that he's done a good job of. When you look at the Cubs pitching rotation, just starting pitchers on the roster right now, you got Matthew Boyd, Edward Cabrera, Jamison Taillon, Cade Horton, Shota Imanaga, Colin Ray, Javier Assad, and Justin Steele. I mean, you've got 9 names there that are legit starters in the league. 8 names, I should say. So
Ben Brown,
I think, yeah,
wasn't great last year, but
I mean, he's in your relief. I don't think you can bring him back as a starter. But these are guys that you look at, and then in the bullpen too. I mean, you don't have any. Name me a household name: Daniel Palencia, Caleb Thielbar, Phil Matan, Gavin Hollowell, Luke
Brandon
Little,
Combs,
Riley Martin, Jack Neely, Jordan Wicks, Ben Brown, Ethan Roberts, Porter
Jeremiah
Hodge, Cody
Murray,
Milner, Jacob Webb, Hunter Harvey, Doubting Thomas. Like there are so many names there, and you're hoping again that you've signed some names in Holby Milner, that are going to be better than what they have been. And I know Holby Milner was a guy as a lefty. I mean, he's a lefty specialist, and his numbers against lefties last year were really good. Same thing with Hunter Harvey. Hunter Harvey's got a top end 90s ball. So he's a guy that can throw hard, but you just got to hope he returns to form.
I think, yeah. I mean, I think they're a really good ball. I would say they're improved from last year. I will
Yeah.
say they've surprised me in a couple of different ways for sure.
Yeah. But not number two in the power rank.
It's a very exciting time to be a baseball fan in Chicago. I mean, you either want a team, you don't want two teams that are middling, or a team that's middling and a team that's just horrible and has no prospects. You don't want that. That's what we had a couple of years ago. We don't have that now. We have one team that's going to be exciting because of all the prospects. I mean, if Noah Schultz, if Braden Montgomery comes up, if Caleb Bonham comes up, players like that on the White Sox, it's going to be an interesting season.
Yeah.
I think, but there's no chance it's not going to be there. And then you have the Cubs, who I would think would be the pick. I mean, I really want to take a better look, but it's probably going to be my pick to win the division again.
Yeah.
I mean, Milwaukee just got worse. They lost their ace, who I thought was pretty good, Peralta.
Yeah.
Pitched a lot of innings for your strikeout pitcher, had 201 strikeouts, something like that. He goes to the Mets. I mean, I think the Mets are going to be pretty good this year. I don't see how they're not. It's going to be interesting when we go through this league, because there has been a lot of changes, and other than just the Dodgers and that whole thing. But it's going to be a great baseball season. I mean, I'm really pumped for the baseball season on both sides of town. I just think it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, and it's all going to kick off in 5 weeks with the World Baseball Classic. I like having the World Baseball Classic. I really do. I don't know that I necessarily love my players playing in it.
No,
the Cubs
they're not your players.
Well, no, but your team's players, because it's an added month of baseball and what's already a really long season. But the Cubs are going to have Alex Bregman and Pete Crow Armstrong are both on the team. I don't know what that could look like. I don't know what the projected lineup is going to be. Bregman's probably a starter. PCA is probably a starter. I know they also have, obviously Aaron Judge is on that team. You look at who else was on that team. I know Bryce Harper's on the team. Bobby Witt Jr. is on the team. Corbin Carroll, Brent Rooker. So they've got, that roster is going to be filthy. I think Team USA is going to make a deep run in the World Baseball Classic. It's going to be fun to watch, but I'm just excited to have baseball back.
The last World Baseball Classic, the last World PCA is going. Does that mean Caleb is going? Probably. Jeremiah.
Yeah.
He's got to get his mind off.
They go everywhere together now, apparently. It's World Tour.
The last World Baseball Classic. The last World Baseball Classic was better than the entire baseball season last time. Was more dramatic, was more fun than the entire baseball season. You'd think Rob Manfred would do something about that, but he's just going to make it worse. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it. None of my team's players are going to be playing in it.
No,
but
no Chase Mydroth.
No Tim Anderson either. He doesn't play baseball anymore.
No, he might be playing for Mexico.
He did play well in the last World Baseball Classic, if you remember.
He did.
Now pretty much out of the league, which is weird. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's great. I think it's a different brand of baseball.
Yeah.
Especially with the Latin infusion. That seems to be
the international fans are fantastic. Man.
Yeah,
the international atmosphere. It's
even
let's be
Japanese,
honest.
Even Japan.
It's crazy because it's a soccer atmosphere in a baseball stadium, and that's the best way to put it. When you see these international soccer games and these international soccer fans and how crazy they are and how loud and boisterous, and they're always chanting and they're always cheering, and there's never a stop to it. That's exactly what you get in the World Baseball Classic. And you insert the greatest game in the world into that. It's fun, man. It's a lot of fun. If you've never taken in the World Baseball Classic, I give it a shot. Give it a shot. Give it a couple of games this year. And if you still don't like baseball after that, then go to hell.
Yeah, some of the first shows we did were during the World Baseball Classic. Not the first shows, but we were a little in at that point, but we had a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm looking forward to all that.
Absolutely. So, all right, you ready to get out of here?
Jeremiah, in 20 years, all of Tim Anderson's illegitimate children will lead to Team USA. That could be true. Very talented, very good genes.
If you add Tim Anderson's kids plus Tyreek Hill's kids, plus Stephon Diggs's kids now,
plus Phillip Rivers' kids,
you could have a new country.
Yes.
Started right now.
I don't know why people are talking about population collapse. Come on. We're doing all right. Nick Cannon's kids.
Oh, God. Unreal. All right. You ready to get out of here?
Phillip Rivers' kids don't look athletic. Phillip Rivers doesn't look athletic.
He might just hire his kids to be part of his coaching staff.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. We will see you guys next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies. Let's talk Super Bowl. See you later.